Well, good evening and welcome everyone. Welcome to this race between zer0rush and Oro in week 2 of the Link to the Past League. They're both representing one team each. I Like Big Boots is zer0rush teams and Swedish Rubbers for Oro. They actually both played in the first week and got a win in the first week, so they're definitely going to try and do the same in this matchup as well, but only one can do it. We got a Boots hint right away and a Master Sword. It's not very often you get to see a Master Sword in Link's house, is it? So that's kind of interesting. But apparently the booster can be in Thieves Town today, so that's actually kind of nice. As soon as we got Dark World access, we're gonna have access to those boots. As long as we have the hammer, we can guarantee it. So that is actually pretty great news. We're probably going to hope for it to be a crystal as well, because, you know, who wants to go into a pendant Thieves Town just to get your boost, right? Uncle being a little bit less generous, just having 1 rupee. But with having Master Sword already, it's going to be interesting to see if this actually changes their strategy in Escape. Like the green guards, you can use slash now all of a sudden, but the blue guards, they will still require a double hit from the Master Sword, if you do a spin, only takes 1 hit. But yeah, we'll see if they change anything up. So zer0rush with a tiny bit of an early lead here in Escape, but Oro did pick up some magic from the uncle, which is actually quite useful in case we find the powder early. We did see zer0rush just go with like a double slash there, because we have the Master Sword. We don't really need to set up any spins or stuff like that. Did find a small key already, which we're guaranteed to find here in Escape. We're also guaranteed to find a map, so the runner's gonna hope to not get it until the very end, because then maybe we can skip Sanctuary Chest, but I mean, most of the times you can't do that. Hey, there's our Moon Pearl. Are we gonna have AG access before Escape is over? Is that a thing? We're only missing a lamp at this point. So one interesting thing with the Master Sword against the Ball and Chain Guard here is that the slashes deal the same damage as the Fighter Sword. So this is why you see zer0rush try to set up a double spin here instead, but he got some hits instead. Now he has to be really careful. Or trying to do the same here, but almost running into the same problem. So there we are. Now we're pretty much synced up again. So if anyone is not familiar with Ambrosia, which is what we're playing right now, it might just look like a normal standard seed, but it's a little bit different. We started with a sword, which is why we got Master Sword from that first sword upgrade. And the uncle, as we saw, gave us our Boots hints, which is another feature of Ambrosia. Except for that, there's only one really different extinguisher from normal standard, which is that every boss in the game is guaranteed to have a item, which is not a dungeon item. So that kind of changes your routing, both in dungeons, but also how you approach even going to dungeons. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And obviously, only bosses that can drop items will drop items. So you will not see like an item from AG or anything like that. And the boot hints you get from the uncle when the game starts. Normally he has like a text box, but instead of that text box, it's just like a text box with the boot hints instead.
Well, this is one exciting start to another Ambrosia seed.
Yeah, for sure. We're joined by Mr. Scruff and Ninja Tuna. Welcome.
Hello, hello. I got too excited with the last race, so I had to have another.
Yeah, we're having a really cool start so far. Ooh, 50 rupees, that's nice. That's gonna guarantee our runners to have money for bombs when they go into Kakariko. They don't have any bombs yet though, so we might not see Back to Escape. Don't think these rats have bombs in their prize pool from what we've seen so far. Yeah, double hearts, that's a no-no.
Oof, yeah, that's gonna be what, the heart single rupee arrow prize pack?
I think so. The only real prize packs I studied is the one that have bombs.
The only important ones, of course.
Yeah.
You know, for a bombless Back of Escape, 538 is not bad at all.
For sure. And we're of course gonna have to open that chest in Sanctuary since we don't know where the map is, but it is bombs. Fortunately, we can't go back.
Yeah, at least now we have bombs.
Yeah, I mean, that makes Kakariko pretty straightforward at least.
Now, I take it if we haven't gotten a map check from either one of them yet?
Nah, not yet. I normally like that approach, just like checking it later on when I know I have nothing important to do.
Yeah, it's not too bad, honestly.
You're gonna see a triple here. That's the tier 3 triple. So that's the one we're gonna see the least amount of time. Tier 2 triple, actually, never mind. This is tier 2. So we might see that one again, but yeah, not very impressive with just hearts.
Nah, convenient health refill, but not necessary this early in the game.
Yeah, and zer0rush actually skipping out of that 20 rupee, being next to it, I would almost be surprised to see him just do that, because it could be important to catch up with some of those early rupees for a potential Sora play. It's not uncommon to only be like 20 or 40 rupees away.
Too true, too true.
Ooh, there we see the tier 1 triple is 8 bombs, so that's really great.
Ooh, 32 total bombs, that's nice. I mean, it's kind of a kick in the pants because you can't hold that many, but still.
Yeah, too bad we don't have the bomb upgrades like we used to have them.
Oh, those were the days.
There was a map check. It looked like all plain crystals in the light world, as far as I could see.
How that's good. That gives us a better chance of having an Ice Rod caneless seed.
Yeah, I mean, just having crystals in light world overall is really nice, because they're all usually pretty low requirement in terms of what you need to beat them, and they're pretty fast as well.
Oh yeah. Especially if we're nice and, like, say if we actually end up getting Turtle Rock, Misery Mire, and Pod as crystals, but then Thieves Town, Skull Woods, and Swamp as pendants, you can just do a double up on each one of those.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Then again, I'd prefer not to have to set foot into Turtle Rock, Misery Mire, or Ice if I didn't have to.
Yeah, you have to take the good with the bad sometimes. Speaking of Thieves Town, though, they're probably gonna hope that's a crystal this time around, because we did get the boots in early on there saying that the boots are actually in Thieves Town.
Well, it's much better than them being in GT, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you know, it's probably just gonna mean the hammer is super late and it's just in the big chest.
Not a whole lot of excitement in Kakariko as of yet. I think most of this stuff is going to be in South Shore.
Yeah, this is actually one of the emptiest Kakariko I've seen in a long time. Only getting 2 boomerangs, that's not very impressive, but I mean, if you have a favorite one, now you can choose at least.
That's for sure. Ooh.
Yeah, that's kind of a convenient place to have the bottle, I guess, if it ends up being their first one. Because, ooh, there's the hammer. Okay, that's actually really good. Because now they can guarantee to get those boots as soon as they have Dark Road license.
Yeah, he definitely wants to go get that.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised we didn't see, like, use a blind race, seeing how empty Kakariko was.
Yeah, I'm one to go ahead and go into the race game automatically if there's nothing in Kakariko. I mean, even if it's
Yeah.
just money or a heart container, I still want to get it.
Yeah, I think I mostly do it, like, if in this scenario, if like escape and Kakariko is only a few items, then I would probably go blind as well. So zer0rush probably gonna head to South Shore here. Doesn't really have a lot of incentive to head over to Eastern. It looks like that's what we're doing. Hey, you're getting some use out of that boomerang after all. Twice. And the Storm Trace is 20 rupees. That's actually really good knowledge.
Heck yeah, that is. That's gonna definitely set them up right for their rupee farming later if they need it.
Did see both our runners pick up a heart in Link's house, so we have full health going down here. I think partly because Minimuldorm Cave is super easy to do when you have sword beams, but also if we are planning on going east here over to Ice Road Cave, the crabs, they do a lot of damage. I mean, with 4 hearts, we can still only take 1 hit before dying from the second one, but at least with like an extra heart, you can take a hit from one of the other enemies without dying.
True. I mean, that's kind of annoying to get through that entire area and then be like, oops, you died.
And I mean, it's kind of likely we might actually get a heart here in the Minimuldorm Cave, so at that case we would have 5 hearts, and then we could tank 2 hits from the crabs.
There we go. Some sword beams took care of those.
Yeah, that's a nice combo, using a bomb as well. Meanwhile, Oro is heading over to Agina. I was gonna see what he holds. There's our Ice Rod and a mirror with the mushroom. So that's starting to make up for that bad Kakariko already.
Not bad at all. Now it's time to see which one is going to pay off, Ice Rod or Agina.
Why not both?
It's like that taco commercial. Well, just more bombs over there. So.
Yeah, Agina doesn't really give us much.
How shameful. Oof.
Well, I would argue that Agina was probably a little bit better than Ice Road Cave.
Right? At least, 3 bombs is a little bit more expensive than just 5 rupees.
I guess Oro actually only got 1 bomb though, since they already had 9. But I think 1 bomb is still better than 5 rupees. Actually, I think that's what 1 bomb costs, right? 10 for 50. We are seeing a hula hand play here from Oro before heading over to Ice Road Cave, so they're probably planning on doing a Sora check together with that. We do see zer0rush fake flipping as well though. Doesn't have the money for Sora, but might still head up to the Waterfall Cave, since we do have that Moon Pearl.
It would be a good turn of events if one of these sequence breaks actually ends up doing something good. So far, nothing on the water walking area, or the fake filtering so far. Nothing at Hobo, nothing on Lake Hylia.
Yeah. I was gonna head up here though, and this is the dangerous part. Isolating Sora very early on could could be very painful to get back to. With the mirror, we could maybe do it with catfish later on, at least. So
True,
that
yeah.
makes isolating Sora a little bit better. Oh, or you can just get 300 rupees and a hook shot. Now we don't have to worry about money. Why?
That's
why
excellent.
yeah. Why plan out a route when you can just get bailed out instead?
Exactly.
We don't have to come back for the ledge, so that's good. But we do know this hookshot is not in logic until we get those flippers.
Yep. And that wonderful Zora visit itself is not in logic just because we don't have the glove. Let's see if we can get vanilla flips. Ah, that was close. It was something blue.
It would have been pretty sick if that was flippers, not gonna lie.
Let's see. The last thing in logic now would be back of escape.
Back of escape and Easter.
No, hold on. Since we don't have a lamp or a fire rod, that wouldn't be in logic yet, right? They don't actually keep the back of escape open with that.
Yeah, actually it does.
Oh, it does?
Because, in standard, you still have that light cone even if you come back later on.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we are still in logic there. So if they're not here, then it's definitely going to be in the back of escape.
It's one of those logic things that you don't really realize it's a thing until it happens to you. Because, like, most of the times you would never have to do that. I guess we also have the mushroom that we grabbed from Mini Molarum Cave that is a potential location to check. We do know, heading into Eastern though, that at best, or well, pretty much guaranteed, we're only going to grab 2 items from here, and maybe only one of them is in logic even.
Yeah, we're definitely getting down to the wire.
Yeah, so at the moment, like, Back of Escape is definitely the highest density area, but it takes quite a while to get there.
Oh,
but then again, doing entire Eastern takes quite a while as well.
Especially since we're going to have to come back here at some point to finish the dungeon.
Yeah, it's a very, well, maybe not very slow dungeon to double dip, but it's kind of slow, because you can't really take any shortcuts in here like you can in some other dungeons. You pretty much have to do almost everything again, except for, like, well, a few things, like the chest we're about to go to here. We don't have to go back to that one, but
it's just kind of the small blessings.
The hookshot is gonna help route this a little bit better, at least. That's item number 1. Becomes so much more important all of a sudden to count your items in a bro shop, because you know one item is always going to be on the boss. So you want to make sure when you got all the items except for the last one on the boss.
Oh yeah, I can tell you I've actually fallen prey to that a few times. End up checking chests unnecessarily or just forgetting all entirely. Oh yeah, boss has the last item.
I think it was a gem this week that had their file names being boss have item. So every time they saved and quit, they got reminded of it.
That is smart. I actually got to start doing that. Oh my. Okay, so that guarantees it. We have our progression in the Back of Escape. Oofa.
Yeah, that or the mushroom, but Back of Escape
true.
definitely looking more likely. But where it looks like, well, zer0rush might actually be heading to Agina or the mushroom here. Not sure which one.
Yep, he's doing the mushroom.
This fake flipper you see very often in cross keys, because just helps with routing, but you don't see it as often in standard mode. Just as I said that, Oro is doing it as well.
Well, I mean, that's a good way of telling who's actually a cross keys player in general, or at least who's decided to play it some.
Yeah, I mean, like most of the times you would probably not even know where that portal even goes.
Exactly.
So let's see what we have from the mushroom today. Oh, well then. None of our runners getting baited into taking a slow walk back to back of escape. Let's just hope they at least remember it now that they have the gloves. Because that is a like scary thing that could happen quite often, honestly, in standard.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's only 2 items back there, but it might be worth it.
Well, looks like zer0rush is going for right away. And Oro starting a sank, maybe the same. No, actually gonna skip it. So let's hope for their sake for now that this is nothing important.
Yeah, looks like he's just gonna go ahead and take the initiative and go straight into Dark World. Probably gonna go look for those boots in Thieves Town.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Starting at Village of Outcast, knowing where the boots are. That makes all the sense in the world. Oro might actually, if they're doing like a next level play here, be waiting for back of escape until after Feast Town when they have the boots, and they can like routing back of escape together with like King's Tuba and Graveyard Edge.
Oh, that would be smart. And on an unrelated side note, I gotta get back into Cross Keys Bingo.
It is the promised mode, I've been told. Ooh, Feast Town is a pendant. That's unfortunate.
Ooh.
Do have a pendant in Swamp and Pod as well. Pod being the green one, and then our red crystals in Tetrock and Ice Palace. So we are going to need a dice roll.
And honestly, that's not too bad. It could have been far, far worse.
So I can see how this is going to play out already. There's going to be boots in the first 4 chests in Feast Town. Which is going to be like, the runner's going to be like, yeah, okay, that's good enough. And then there's going to be something good in the back. That's just how it works. 100% calling it right now. We do know, I mean, I guess we always know there's at least one item in the back, but we do know like that if there's only one item in the back, it's gonna be on the boss. Trying to hookshot to that pot there, it's doesn't always work. You have to like be at the very edge of it because there's an anti-fairy underneath, which kind of messes up the hookshot a bit. So we got one item so far. We can get one more in the front, but one of them has to be the big key.
Let's see if this last item is going to be
there
our
it is. And I don't blame anyone for leaving at this point.
Nope.
Got your value, let's head out of here. Oh, are we trying to see a...
Maybe he's contemplating? No, he's good.
Yeah, you can spin speed on those small stairs there on Feast Town. They're kind of awkward to do it on. I think that's what we saw them trying to do, like a hook dash.
Extra points for swag.
I mean, if you're in spin speed, you cannot bonk, so...
Hey, gotta save those league points somehow, you know?
Right? I do believe Oro is in one of my fantasy leagues, actually. Like the actual league, not in the team.
So we just need to have him bonk like a couple dozen times.
It's self-sabotage.
That's why I had to apologize for anyone foolish enough to put me in their fantasy league. Because if I ever get stuck doing AGA 1 or 2, I bonk just for the heck of it. And it looks like your guess was right. Oro is going to go ahead and go check out King's Tomb over here.
Yeah, I think that's pretty nice routing decision. You want to try and be as efficient as possible, and if you can pair stuff together in Light and Dark World, that's like one of the prime ways of being efficient. We do see Agate Tower is not going to be required at all today.
Ooh. Gamachu's favorite medallion.
Is that?
Got Ether, Gamachu's favorite medallion.
Huh. Is that why he's so cool?
Yeah, that's exactly why it's so cool. The best sprite in the game, so he says.
He electrocutes them so hard so they freezes?
Yeah, let's go with that.
I mean, I guess that's pretty much being paralyzed, right? It's almost the same thing.
I mean, it makes sense. Let's see if our hype cave lives up to its name or if it's going to be something worthless today.
Maybe something in between. How much items required do you need for it to be hype? More than one, I guess. Well, I did get one.
The fleet's good. I mean, it helps with mobility, and we kind of need it. But the fire shield puts us one more step closer to the lag shield, so I'd say that's minus points.
I would probably like say that I wouldn't be sad to see a cave like that. I'd definitely be happy, but I wouldn't be like, oh my god, that's amazing. So somewhere in the middle, maybe. Yeah.
Not hype, but happy.
Good enough cave.
There you go.
Fortunately, we didn't see anything from the checks that Oro is doing here that was required whatsoever.
I'm waiting to see. Now, I think these guys may actually end up waiting until until they find the Titan's mitts to go ahead and do the mountain checks.
Yeah, that would make sense. Like the mountain is not even in logic still. Well, it's in logic actually, but yeah, never mind. It is in logic fully.
Gotta love that flute.
Yeah, it's like a hard balance. Ooh, that was a really nice Quakefish activation from zer0rush there. That was like borderline, not gonna trigger it, but yeah, it's like a fine line you have to walk, right? Going up to the mountain is like you want to save it until as late as possible, but at the same time, if you wait for too long, you might like just miss out on all the good stuff up there.
Exactly. Now, the good thing about getting that cape is that this is going to go ahead and put Spy Cave into logic. So this may be better push to go ahead and put him up the mountain.
That is true. Spy Cave is a pretty good spot to end your Dark World or just Death Mountain rod overall if you don't have any mitts.
Then it's really good to like set up a Spike Cave. Oh, no problem. To go ahead and set up Spike Cave just before you do Tower of Hera, so that way you get a full magic and health refill afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. That is another point to maybe head up the mountain. That's our only crystal we can full clear at the moment. Or, well, technically, we don't know if we can full clear it. But if we do the Herapod, we're very likely to be able to full clear it. Since we know at least one of the items is on the boss.
Taking the opportunity to get that bottle and check out Sick Kid. Smart. Good to clear out that one-off check so you don't orphan it.
Yeah, and Oro is gonna be able to grab that one really soon as well. Did save and quit and went to Hype Cave, but from a Hype Cave we can just head on west here and then mirror right next to the library as well.
Nice. Yeah, and
Here,
that half
let's see
magic, pretty good convenience. I'd say at this point, definitely now with having half magic, Spy Cave is a must.
It definitely helps out. The earlier you get it as well, because you can just be a lot less restrictive when it comes to magic usage. Oh, that was a first dig for 300 rupees.
Ooh.
I didn't even realize that. And we didn't even pick them up.
Man, that's...
I mean, we have the money we need, but it's still like it's 300 rupees. I would be tempted.
Yeah, that's a fantastic convenience, dude. I'd go for it.
There's our powder, so that's it's not really a progressive item, I suppose, but it is something that unlocks new checks for us.
Yep, and easier to go through once we do the Smith chain. So not in logic as of yet, but definitely a good thing to go with. That's pretty ballsy, I'd have to say. Skipping Spec Rock and just going straight for Spy Cave. I wonder if he's, like, listening from the past? Being like, hey, I know he's going to talk about Spy Cave, so I'm going to go do it.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, yeah, it is kind of awkward, actually. Hey, there's our Vanilla King, right?
I was going to say, that's vanilla, right?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, that's awesome. So, not progression, but still hilarious.
So, zer0rush might just take the same route up here again. And if it does, it makes a lot more sense of skipping Spectacle Rock. But he is heading east first, so he's gonna not do that Spectacle Rock until after Hera, probably. In which case, he could probably have just skipped it until doing Spy Cave after Hera as well, but I'm not sure. Maybe he doesn't like feel comfortable with doing the bomb jump, and this way he doesn't have to like... I don't know. It's a little bit weird, but it's not terrible.
It's alright, we'll think of an excuse for him.
Yeah, we might actually. That's a common thing that happens. That like commentators and stuff like that, we miss some of the like Galaxy plays that the players are like planning out in advance. And then like 5 minutes later, we're like, oh, okay, that's why.
Or they're just like me and I completely forget about it and just brain fart.
I mean, that does happen as well. It's just gonna happen eventually if you play enough random.
Exactly. Ooh, literacy and another bottle in Paradox so far, so that gives us access to Desert, but doesn't let us finish it.
Yeah. Convenient to find up here though, so we can do the Ether tablet as well. The Pikachu tablet, I guess.
Gonna have to tease Gamachu now, because that's the new legit thing.
So we are skipping... Okay, so I guess... No, it still doesn't make too much sense. But we are skipping Spire Cave for now. But we're probably just coming back to it after Hera. So that's fine. Only problem for zer0rush is he's gonna have to jump down, check Spectacle Rock, and then mirror up, and then go back. But like, it's not the biggest deal.
And that's another fetch quest for Oro, and that's really awesome item placement. If this happens to be the big key, we got it. But he's not even gonna bother. See, this is the nice part. Like with Ambrosia, I mean, if you can do the Hera pot, you don't. Doesn't matter. You just do it.
Yeah, and they got an item already. So they know the second item that they need is on the boss. So this is like a perfect scenario of showcasing how different routing can be in Ambrosia compared to a normal seed.
Ooh, he's doing the spin speed. I love watching runners of this caliber do it. So cool. You've got Oro using the boot setup, and then Zero using the spin speed setup. Both making it look so easy. And I both want to high-five them and punch them in the face out of jealousy.
In that order?
Yes. You high-five him first, because then they won't see it coming. And just like that, both Moltorms are down, and we get our wonderful lag shield. And our first crystal.
Yeah.
Only 35 minutes in. Woo!
All in all, I would say that's a pretty good era. Just when you like think of how fast it was. But then we also have the potential of maybe that shovel is gonna pay off as well.
Oh, true, yeah, because looking at the way the progression's set right now, we can't finish any other dungeon at the moment. We can just enter. Well, I mean, aside from Thieves' Town, of course.
Yeah, no one wants to do that. So Aura's heading over here, doing Spiral Cave now, and then gonna have to do the paradox that zer0rush already did. That's gonna put Aura a bit away from Spike Cave, so they might actually skip Spike Cave for now, which would be fine if they do. You know it's only the Blue King. Nice sync, picking up that heart. The question is, where does zer0rush go? He is gonna head to probably check the powder.
Not a bad play right now. It's actually out of logic, so this would be a sequence break. But, you know, it's right here, and if this is something good, then it's a decent gamble. Fortunately, it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty quick check to do for one item. And it's nice to get some of those out of the ways before you like commit to some of the longer dungeons. It's gonna do the shovel here as well, just because like what you did mention earlier, we don't really have any crystals we can full clear at the moment. And they already dipped one crystal without getting anything from it.
I'm kind of hoping that this seed is going to be mean and put the progression in this very odd chain of events. Like, we'll have Bombo's tablet have the fire rod, and then Mothula is going to have the flippers, and then Argus is going to have the Titan's mitts, and then Cold Stare is going to have the Canis Maria, and Viddy is going to have the whatever it is to open up Turtle Rock.
Well, we're gonna see Bombo's tablet, so...
Alright, come on, let's hope this happens. I need my cursed run.
Oh, Aura actually, yeah, Aura had to run back here to check the tablet, so might actually check Spike here right away now. I forgot about the book being over there. Oh,
Ooh,
that's
okay.
a good item.
I'm gonna change it up a bit.
You don't say.
Pombos with the bow, Armos with the fire rod, and then Mothula with the flippers. Because nothing has been locked behind hookshot so far, progression-wise. We've had access to everything else.
Yeah, so Pendant Pod is now, well, it's actually not, oh, well, now it's gonna be full complete. zer0rush even planning to flute away there, but no, we're gonna grab that fire source. It's gonna be useful, and that puts quite a bit on logic. Eastern Pod, the back of Desert Palace, so that's kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's kind of a good thing to go and check that first, because God only knows I've messed up many, many, many times and orphaned something on that ledge when I could have just checked it, like, super early.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what Ora goes. Looks like, oh, going into pod without the lamp, so that alone is going to be a bit of a time sink, because doing that, even if you know the dark rooms, doing them without the lamp, it's slower. For the vast majority of the part, and especially pod has some pretty tricky dark rooms without any fire whatsoever. Like the turtle room is pretty awkward.
Oh yeah.
But who knows? We could get no, we cannot get a fire on. But so we're doing it completely dark.
Well, I mean, do you even need to bother getting the lamp now?
No. Probably. I mean, I think it's still worth it. You don't know if like it still saves you time in like Miner, for example, picking that up. And like, what if it's Master Sword Civiles and like miss the torch glitch because you didn't have the lamp or something like that, and you're gonna be kicking yourself for that.
Mm-hmm. I would totally pick it up. I am a complete and total noob when it comes to the dark rooms, so
I think it's 100% worth picking up here, because we have pretty much not done any of the dark rooms except for like the easiest ones so far. So it's I would say it's a time save for sure.
So I'm gonna say at this point, the two runners are pretty much on par with each other. I'd say the biggest difference will be if Pod actually has anything required in it, and if Oro is comfortable doing the dark rooms in a very quick fashion. Because if Pod does have something good in it and he goes in, he's able to handle everything, he can go ahead and clear that out, toot sweet. Where in zer0rush, if he decides to do Pod after Eastern, he's going to have that little bit of ease with that lamp. But seeing as how both these runners are leagues better than I am, I doubt they're going to have any trouble.
That's a pretty textbook Ramolas with the fire roll right there.
Oh, sorry, I looked away. What happened?
Well, we had to free Lamolas show up, and then they disappeared just as fast as they showed up. I'm not sure why.
It's a magic trick.
For sure.
So no longer bunnies are being used. It's now giant worms.
Yeah, it's kind of mean of like Ganon to just like stuff all of his bosses with fireworks.
Yeah, that is true. Never explains why they all explode.
It's like maybe it's like a self-destruct sequence. You're not allowed to get captive by Link.
They're all robots.
There you go.
That explains so much now.
They're divine beasts, dude.
That's it. That's it exactly.
Okay, so we're gonna see another boss fight here. Armos coming up for Oro. And then probably heading into pod after that. And Oro did get to single dip this dungeon, so that's actually very nice. Ooh, just barely missed that fast quick kill there on Armos.
Able to secure the kill at least, so that's a good thing.
What item did we get?
Bombs.
Oh, bombs. I thought I saw a compass for a moment, and I was like, wait, no, that can't be.
It's like, uh-oh, seed's broken. Start a new one.
Yeah, shoutouts to Synac, by the way, setting up his bot that's probably gonna take over the world soon enough, and just like pretty much handling all of the seed generations for this league.
Oh yeah, major props to Cynic. The dude's just a freaking genius. Oh man, it just dawned on me. This is gonna be a super duper fast race. We're just missing Kane, Flippers, and Titans mitts. Presuming that medallions are gonna be nice.
Yeah, and we might even be able to skip the flippers.
Oh, that's true, yeah, because Ice Palace, but oh man, this is gonna be nuts.
I mean, we already got one progression from the flippers, so that makes them a little bit less likely to be something in Swamp that we need.
That is true, yeah. I mean, the one thing that we got was not particularly necessary to get to GT, but it is to climb it.
Yeah, I suppose that hookshot could just be locking something in the back of Swamp instead.
True, yeah, very true.
Okay, so next boss fight coming up. Mafia with the Master Sword. We're gonna see a spin, a couple of spins here actually.
Very nice setup there.
Yeah, and the spins, they deal temporary damage, so you only need 4 of them to connect. The hard part is to get them to connect.
Yeah, those dang spikes, man. Oof.
There we go. I think that was like 3 spins that connected and then 2 slashes. And there's our flippers. So now it's in logic. And unfortunately, all of Swamp is in logic too.
Yep. Oh, and one thing we missed over there on Swedish River's team there, Mr. Oro picked up the silvers.
Ooh, that's a nice pickup.
So yeah, silvers in pod. And I think those are bow-logged, actually.
Looks like we got a temper sword as well.
Ooh! Okay, so yeah, definitely not necessary to go into pod, but ooh, the convenience.
Mm-hmm. Now we're seeing some of the dark rooms coming up here. This one would be in logic if you had a fire rod, but or doesn't have any fire source right now. So for them, we're thinking it's non-logic, but probably just assuming. A lot of the times it's just better to not think about the logic too hard, unless you're like only like 1 or 2 items from go mode.
Fair enough, yeah.
Because eventually everything will be in logic.
And shoutouts to our tracker, TabbyCat54, for not only clicking these buttons to make sure that we're on point with everything, but to catch us on all of our silly shenanigans, especially mine.
For sure. The tracking, not especially your shenanigans. I mean, I guess that's probably true as well.
Yeah,
to be honest.
like both.
There's our mitts. Whoa, value woods here.
Heck
with
yeah.
Mitts and flippers. Whoa.
That is excellent. Hey, that means we could totally skip Swamp and just go check out Ice and hope for the best.
Well, we still need a cane.
Oh, yeah, but we can be like, maybe Kane's in Ice Palace now.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure. I thought you meant, like, hoping for the best in terms of being in go mode.
Oh, no. No one... I'm sad to say that we have yet to find a glitch that makes us totally ignore the Kane.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty cool, though.
We could over glitch into Ganon's tower and then hover to try next, I suppose. Would not be legal, though.
You're not in those.
Still have the Meyer problem, I guess. Don't think you get it on Meyer without, like, meter glitching.
Because at least with Turtle Rock, you can just hover everywhere.
Almost, at least. Some of the rooms are a little bit, even for hoverers, I think, a little bit.
Hey, I've seen P-Train do that last one. If he can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah, that's not the one that concerns me too much. The one would be like the torch room, if that's the big key.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that would be kind of hard. That's just a wee bit difficult.
Yeah, well, luckily we're not going to have to worry about it, because we need a K no matter what. But zer0rush has some interesting conundrums to think about here. We could head to Ice Palace, clear that. We could head over to Meyer, check the overworld stuff first to see what medallion we need. We could even head to Dark Death Mountain. We have 6 items there, and we can also find out what the medallion for Turtle Rock is.
Ooh, true. Like, what do you think would be the better route? More progression by getting the Ice Palace out of the way, or just more information by doing Misery Mire?
I think I would head to Mire first because it's super fast. Like, it doesn't cost you too much time to do it. Going up to Death Mountain, that's a pretty big time sink to invest. But Mire doesn't take too long to share. But at the same time, heading into Ice Palace first, I think that's super fine as well, because sometimes Ice Palace could actually be really quick in Ambrosia, because if you get those 2 items early, you can just skip the rest of the dungeon and head to Coaster. But unfortunately, it's definitely not a guarantee to happen, so we might actually see all of it. There's a small key. It does help with the running a little bit at least.
Oh, most definitely.
Now, Oro is going to head to the boss here at Halmosar. I'm going to cash in on that item on the boss and grab the green pendant. We are going to see this room. Well, I guess we're not going to really see it, but they are going to do the dark room here with the turtles. It can be quite a challenge sometimes. But if you can manage to do like what people normally do when they flip all the turtles over with 2 hammer strikes, then you could quickly switch over to Ether, which would actually one-hit KO all of the turtles. That's one of the strats you could go for.
That's the move that I really appreciate doing in most cases. Just because I prefer not dying.
Looks like we're getting a combination of spins and slashes with the hammer here. Well, not with the hammer, with the sword. And also flipping them over with the hammer. That works too. I mean, we have a lot of health, so we can play around with it. And we actually got through it really quickly. Really
I'll
nice.
say, that was excellent.
Only took 1 hit too. And the good thing with having Tempered Sword there is the Tempered also one-shots them. Although we did have sword beams, so that could kind of mess it up, but it looked like it didn't really do that much. zer0rush actually heading to the back here first, or, well, I'm not sure if we could call this the back, but heading to this room first, even though he had a small key.
Yeah, kind of risky play.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, I think it's a time sink, because you could use done that faster. You're guaranteed to get a small key over on this side, so you're not in a risk of like missing out on keys or whatever. Easy to forget though that you have that key sometimes. I've definitely done that before.
Very true.
Really nice. Really nice kill there from Oro on Halmosar. Only a green rupee though, but we did get the green pendant at least. And who knows, all the pendants are in logic.
Oh no, are you thinking of a ped seed? You evil, evil man.
Nah, I'm just listing the options. I still think it's the back of Thieves though. Like, it's good to hope for the best, but plan for the worst, kind of. I got a blue mail, so that's like, it's nice, but not really worth the time investment.
Pod was basically just the dungeon of convenience.
So I'm not sure how many items zer0rush got so far. Let's see. I think he's missing 1 item plus the one on the boss. So that's unfortunate. Probably gonna have to full clear this, unless they'll just use a small key in the big chest. Also, I think so. This is kind of weird because they changed a little bit of the logic in Ice Palace recently. So I'm not 100% if this would be true still, but I think that in Ambrosia, would it be? I think that at least it's way less likely that you're gonna need the Canis from Mario to do this dungeon.
With Ambrosia,
Ice Palace
is never. Yeah, Ice Palace is never cane locked in Ambrosia. Because I believe the only way with the key logic now in version 31 is that if a small key is on cold stare, then it's cane locked. But since Ambrosia guarantees that item, you never have to worry about it.
I think there's a niche scenario if you don't have the hookshot. It could be cane locked, but we do have the hookshot, so it cannot
true.
be cane locked at least. So that actually makes the play of heading in here a little bit more valuable because every second here is have a potential of having the cane scenario.
Eh, not the red item we were looking for, but we're getting close. Now, the good thing is we know that Canis Maria can't be in the Pyramid Fairy because it's, TR 5/6.
Mm-hmm.
But we still do have the possibility that it's going to be in PED.
On a scale between 1 and super salty, how salty do you think Aura is after finding both of those fire sorcerers after doing all the dark rooms in pod?
Uber salty.
Probably, right?
He is saltier than the Dead Sea.
And not saltier than the salty Dungeoneers.
Almost as salty.
Here's our Meyer shakes. Didn't have anything there. Did we see the medallion?
I did not.
I would imagine he would shake. Apparently it's ether. So that's good. That's a good sign.
Yep, that's one sign.
Or potentially a bad one, because now
Yep.
Which is awkward. You kind of really don't want to go in there because it's only one item without the cane. Guaranteed.
Ooh, Zero taking the initiative to go ahead and check out Dark Death Mountain. So we're going to see Turtle Rock Medallion and the 6 chicks up here.
Mm-hmm. Got some sick, waffle drive-thru as well. Love to see that. So where will Swedish Rubber's Oro go after this? Probably Skullboots, seems likely, I guess. So that would be good, if that's the case.
Yep, I think he's going to follow suit with zer0rush's routing at this point. Take down the Moth, go ahead and finish up Ice Palace, and then head up the mountain.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, unless... Maybe he'll go ahead and think about Titan's Mitts and immediately go to the Dark Mountain.
Could be, or maybe even do since pod was nothing, maybe they're gonna go for some less, some low percent stuff, like maybe the Smith chain or something.
Oh, that's true. We still have the Smith chain.
That's the cool thing with Rando. Even if you fall behind, there's always things you can do in order to try and come back again.
Oh yeah, that last race that was showing between Marty and the other gentleman that I'm blanking on his name for some reason, and I feel terrible about it. Thank you. Yeah, Black Wax. That one was nuts.
Yeah, I didn't manage to see most of it. I only managed to catch the very end, unfortunately. So what medallion was that?
That was either... We have all of our medallions, so we are in Kane Go mode.
So that is good news. I think especially for Zero. Probably for both of them. What Aura needs at this point, since they lost a bit of time during that pod play, is probably for zer0rush to head over there as well. And even then, zer0rush is going to be able to do pod a bit faster with having the lamp already. But he's going to head for the Smith chain, So if that is something that Oro is gonna try and do to catch up, zer0rush would still be ahead if the cane is here.
And that would be intriguing if Zero actually finds the cane here. He knows what medallions the other two are. I think he'd just go mode it, because he's comfortable with Silverless Master Sword.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Still gonna have to bring the frog home. You can take him with you to all of these terrible places you're going. Just he needs to be home and have like some relaxing time after his vacation in the Dark World.
I'll say. So yeah, that was what, an hour go mode?
That's an
nuts.
hour go mode. Yeah, that's. Oh, he's been checking here for maybe a vanilla tempered sword, but got the Quake medallion instead. So this is actually interesting because now, if Oro shakes Smith Chain, turns into Smith as well, which they probably will, because they probably will pick up the Smith first. That would put them in a very likely scenario of being in go mode without even knowing yet. So they would probably just go full on go mode as well. Honestly, probably just would have done that anyways, because like, I don't know, it's awkward.
It
when
is.
You only have one medallion. Do you go for it or not?
It's such an odd situation too, because it's a 66% chance of one of the dungeons being the right one, and much less of both of them being the same or the other. So it's like, what do you do? Do you go ahead and just take that risk?
Yeah, it's awkward. But since they're gonna get like the Quake as well, I think at that point you'd totally just go for it. We'll need to pick up the myths in the big chest first. But zer0rush is gonna go full on go mode from here, so even if Oro were to pick up the myths or pick up the cane as soon as possible, they would still be a bit behind and would have to catch up time. That could be hard, but the tempered sword and silvers is definitely one of the ways of doing it.
Oh, and that's just hurtful. Pet is just couch cash. I mean, we knew it wasn't going to be anything good, but still.
Yeah, best case scenario there would have been like a vanilla sword or something to guarantee that zer0rush is not going to pick up another one. And that's an interesting thing with go mode in this mode as well, especially when you have multiple dungeons to go mode, is that you know you're going to get items from each boss. So that like increases your chances a little bit to be able to find a sword or something like that on your way to Ganon's Tower.
True. Yep. Oro's about to get his Titan's Myth here shortly, but is still 2 dungeons behind. Or, no, 1 dungeon. Never mind.
Yeah, at least if they somehow manage to get go mode before Ice Palace, that could be a go mode Ice Palace, which is pretty fast, but would still be behind for sure at that point.
Oh yeah. And yes, the Tempered Silvers is going to give him an advantage, not only with fighting Vidi, fighting Trinex, and fighting Ganon. That's gonna be iffy.
Yeah, I don't think it's enough at this point. Especially, I know zer0rush is very consistent. So that makes it a little bit less likely for him to mess some of his fights up. But Oro is heading to Ice Palace, which, I mean, I think it makes all the sense in the world, but it's not going to pay off, and that's going to put them even further behind, unfortunately. So, do we remember if boots was required for desert?
I know it had a small key, but I can't remember if the big key was there.
Oh,
I
if
think
it
it
has,
was-
if it had a small key, it was required because the fire rod was on the right side.
So yeah, it was definitely required.
Okay, yeah. So we had one required item in the pendant, but that was a very quick one to get. The rest of the pendants was just like you could just totally skip them, like zer0rush actually managed to do in the sea, which that's definitely a good feeling. Even though they pretty much full clear the overworld, I don't know if I would feel too. Oh well, personally, I would always feel behind because that's just what I do in races. But objectively, I don't think zer0rush should feel too behind, since they managed to skip all of those pendants, lures.
True. The only thing that I would say Oro has at this point, especially if he goes to blacksmiths directly, is that he will have to, or he doesn't have to worry about any of the Dark Death Mountain checks. Doesn't have to worry about anything else involving side checks for silvers or tempered. Basically, just convenience checks.
Mm-hmm.
And spooky.
Yeah, and then no more spooky now because we used the powder, but luckily we don't need to use the spooky anymore. This is some beautiful spin setups here. Just need one more double spin. Oh, okay, we're gonna switch over to. Gonna have to be a little bit careful though.
He's gonna keep it safe.
Yeah,
that is a good idea.
Yeah, because you're one hit KO mode now from being hit by the ice in a direct contact. Oh, running out of arrows. So that's a little bit scary. It's a good thing he knew about that, because sometimes you just forget how many arrows you have and then you just tank a hit because you keep firing with no arrows in your quiver. But that is crystal number 6. We're gonna head up to Turtle Rock for zer0rush after this. Probably gonna try and pick up some arrows on the way. There is at least 5, I think maybe 10 arrows in Turtle Rock that you can grab kind of conveniently.
Mm-hmm. And if anything else, he can just pick up the ones along the way to the GT climb.
Yeah, for sure. It's even the potential, pretty good potential of finding chests with arrows as well in Ganastar.
There we go. Oro remembering he's got that wonderful big key. He's gonna go ahead and check the ST room first. Oh look, it's a small key. Now go back to the big chest.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but especially in a mode like Ambrosia where you're like just hoping to be able to skip it.
Yep, it's one of those things that you gotta do when you gotta do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it looked like so we saw zer0rush heading back up on the stairs a couple of times there. I think he actually item dashed when using the ether. If you item dash with the medallions, you can actually activate spin speed. So when he walked up back there, I think he just tried to get it to activate. It's not really something that saves you a lot of time, especially not if you have to walk up on the stairs again. But it definitely looks cool.
That's another reason why I love watching these two guys run, because not only is it so much fun and like entertaining from a spectator point of view, but from a racer point of view, you can learn so many cool things, and they do it so well and effectively that you don't even need an explanation. You just need to watch them, and you're like, oh, okay.
For sure. It's like the best way to improve if you're into racing rando in a competitive format. Definitely a good combination of just like playing / practicing, but also just watching other people that are really good at the game playing, because then you can just like start, even if you only like catch like 1 or 2 things, then you can just start like implementing them, and then as time goes by, like just find more and more tricks to do. So we're heading over to Maya here as well, pretty much taking the same route that zer0rush did so far after finding the myths. We'll see if they continue that or not. So I'm not sure. I think we saw the big key. And there is a pot here, yeah, with arrows, nice. And looks like, yeah, we need to go here either way, I suppose, because we're gonna steal the key if we want the big key. Gonna switch to the fire rod, because with the Master Sword, doing a double spin with the Master Sword is not enough to kill the Popo or Pokey. That's what it's called. I think Popo is the sword the guys in Eastern.
Poku.
But I guess we did get the big key, because we did steal the small key. So we're probably skipping the big chest too. Which I think is... Oh, never mind, we're doing it. So,
I don't think he's wanting to take the risk.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel ahead, there's really no need to take any risks. Then again, it's a very low percentage risk. Like, but if it burns you, it burns you really hard.
Oh yeah. And unfortunately, Oro is going to go ahead and do that Misery Mire dip, so he's going to be sad.
There was a small key in the big chest, so it could have potentially burned him, but there still need to be a small key in the vanilla big key chest as well. And I do believe some people smarter than me have calculated that there's a 5% chance to get burned.
Yes, I think it's like a 4 something or other. It's super duper low.
Yeah, I think it's happened to me once or twice, and I do it every time I can. So, and I played a lot of races, so it's not very often. Or trackers saying it happened to them 3 times in a row. I'm very... My condolences. And we are gonna shake Spike Cape anyways, though, probably trying to get a sword here. So it doesn't take very long time to invest here.
Good. Okay, there's our small key, so... Yeah, Lava Room actually had an item, I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably a dungeon item, seeing how many items we had.
A dungeon item.
Yeah. Okay, though. No sword, though. So, zer0rush is gonna hope for Ganon's Tower or Trinix to have that. Otherwise, they're gonna have to do Master Sword Civilized.
Yep, unless he's lucky enough to find another sword in GT.
Or unlucky enough.
Yeah, that's true.
to take a couple of falls on Ganon and be like, screw this, I'm going to grab those silvers in pot. That's probably not happening. Ooh, they go for backdoor hammer stretch, which is really cool, but they missed one of the hits. It's one away there. So unfortunately that actually lost them a bit of time instead of saving them. They're going for a little bit of backup here, you're spamming some fire rod shots to get the job done. So it's just like the main event left on Trinex, I guess.
Beautiful Trinex fight. Hey, that's our 7th crystal.
Is that what turtles look like under their shell?
I hope not.
That's kind of scary if they do.
That is terrifying, yeah. You know, since that is the final crystal, I guess it's time to play the wonderful guessing game. GT Big Key guessing game. That's right. Go ahead and pop in your guesses. And it's going to be 1 to 22. Basically, we're taking a guess as to where the GT Big Key is going to be. Somewhere in that tower will be the big keys, hopefully. Let's hope this is not a broken seed.
Let's hope so. It was a secret customizer the entire time. Gannistar Big Keys somewhere unknown.
It's a Plando.
Except no, of course not. Also, you have to actually type numbers, not Roman numerals.
Yep, it has to be whole number.
Yeah,
1 to 22.
As much as I like those Roman numerals, you can't do that. There's our go mode for Oro.
Ah, yes. Go mode for Oro. Unfortunately, a little behind.
It's gonna have to drop off the smith here, see if they check the smith as well, probably. So that's gonna make them feel a little bit better, maybe at least. But they're still back. But they don't know that. They might have think like, oh, maybe my opponents like head into Swamp and like they had feast on as well, something like that.
True. Oro's probably thinking that he's in a good fit. Yeah, because there's no dot done.
116 go mode. That's not bad at all.
Ooh.
There's a 10% right
and
next to the big key. I called shenanigans.
That's nice.
That's not allowed. That's far too easy of a sword location. But it's definitely gonna be nice for zer0rush because now they can do pretty much the NMG vanilla fight against Ganon. Even gonna have the green mail for it as well. 2 less hearts than in vanilla, I think, though. Well, 1 less, depending on if you pick up the sand card or not, I suppose.
What kind of weird NMG runner doesn't pick up the sand card?
The ones that want to go fast.
Silly billies.
But yeah, this is gonna be pretty straightforward for zer0rush here. Really nice dash there. All of the RNG is pretty much taken out of the equation from here on. It's all execution from now on.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it boils down to. I mean, this is definitely Zero's race to lose.
Oh, out of arrows again, but hey, look at that, 10 arrows. Doesn't really need the arrows anymore, but they might maybe still be checking a chest upstairs, seeing if they can get silvers. So in that case, having arrows would be kind of beneficial. Went for a bow shot there in that room. That's pretty interesting because the bow would actually not have killed that enemy unless they bumped him into a spike.
I think it may have bumped him into the spike there.
Half magic showing up here again. We can just go for extra fire rod shots here on Lamolas without having to like be afraid of not having magic for the torch rooms coming. And Oro just annihilating Vitrias.
The joys of silvers. gotta say, it's gotta be very convenient to have half magic at this point.
If you walk into that room with 0 magic and no half magic, you can still do it if you have the lamp, because there is 2 magic containers in there. But it's definitely a bit awkward at that point. They check 1 chest, but we're not gonna have any luck with that. They already got the 10%, so I would say that's good enough of being bailed out. Okay, Molten 2, as Oro is gonna head into Tart Rock. Ooh. I'm ready to get that spin in, but got the second attempt in.
Yeah, it's kind of a kick in the pants there to find both the map and the compass. Those last 2 items in the GTA.
Yeah. That was an interesting setup in that room for zer0rush. It worked perfectly. I've actually never seen anyone do that specific setup. Nice double to start it off with. Need 4 more hits. That's 1. We got some blue balls, unfortunately. This one is a 50-50 being blue ball as well. It wasn't, so now we only need 1 more hit. Oh, getting a little bit of an extra dash in there. But only 1, so... Oh, no!
No, there's 2.
Some extra. Rip Fantasy League.
Fantasy League points. We'll have to ask him that in the interview and just be like, why do you hate your Fantasy League people?
I mean, it was only 2, so it's not too bad. Getting the win is way more points than some extra points. Really, really nice setup here for the 101. It's like, not going for the dash. Okay, we're going for this setup instead. That's actually really cool. That should be it. Everything here from on is going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to make sure to get the not potion glitch, the torch glitch. So we just light the left torch first before the second one goes out, and then the second one will never go out, and that's gonna make the Zelda's part here way easier, or less hard, depending on how you see it, I suppose. We already have 3 hits in as well. We only need additional 9, so if we can get triples here, that would only be lighting the torch, well, at this point, 2 more times. It's a nice triple. It's a good setup for another one.
Excellent pattern so far.
Just need 3 more hits here. And yeah, looks like we're gonna get another triple here. This is an textbook example of doing the silverless Ganon fight.
Whew. Yeah, that was beautiful. Anyone that wants to join this game, go ahead and watch zer0rush. And pray that you are as good as him one day.
Yeah, get your GGs in for zer0rush. Finishing first with a time of 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 11 seconds. So GGs, we're gonna see if they want to join us here.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. Anytime you get an Ambrosia sub 90 is great. It just means that the seed was kind enough to not be that mean to you. But man, that execution, that routing, it's perfect.
Yeah, really, really well played. And I mean, Oro not doing too shabby as well. It's not too far behind, almost done here in Tutrock, and then it's Ganon's Tower time, so it's gonna have a very respectable time as well. And that's even with like finishing up extra stuff like pod, for example. They get skip one extra mountain climb though, I suppose, but the pod dip I think is more time consuming than that mountain trip was.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Or we're gonna go for the bottom. I think the key was like in the middle somewhere.
I think it's the second one on the left.
Oh, that's unfortunate then. You can never like meta game this bridge. This bridge, because see, no matter what you do, it's just like the last check. It just knows. Like, I bet if Oro went to that chest first that had the key, like the game would just have reshuffled it to like another location or something.
Yes.
And we are joined by zer0rush, our winner of this race. GG's.
Hey, good games. How's it going?
Yeah.
GG's.
This was a really well played seed from you, and this is your team's third win out of 3 so far, right?
Yes, 3 in a row.
Dang, I gotta say that was a phenomenal game. Not only with like just the routing, but the execution. It was perfect. But I do have a question.
Yeah.
Why do you hate your fantasy league people so much? Giving
What?
Bonk points. Bonk points, man.
It's fine.
Nah, it's all right.
Wait,
they're probably gonna be.
Do you lose points if you bonk? Is that how it
Yeah.
works?
Well, you don't lose points, but you just don't get as many points.
Oh, well.
They have a lot of different ways of rewarding points, but trust me, getting the win is the most important part. So you did that.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons to bonk on purpose. I guess at the end I was bonking in Aghanim's tower, or Aghanim's room. I think that was it though. I don't think I bonked really anywhere else. Maybe once or twice.
Yeah. And all in all, Fantasy League is your secondary stuff. The most important part is the runners and the races.
Exactly. You gotta play for your own fun and for the win. Because we're not first or last.
Yeah, what's your thoughts about this seed?
It was. I think this seed was the kind of seed that really rewards having boots, because all the stuff was in the overworld. Like there are a lot of dense location checks for like pod and swamp, but doing those takes forever, and the overworld is relatively quick with the boots. So I just focused on that instead, and found literally everything. The only pendant I went in was Thieves' Town for the boots, which we had a hint for, so it worked out pretty well.
Makes sense. And those boots were required as well.
Yep. Honestly, it's kind of great the way it all worked out, because there were a few situations where I could have deviated and started clearing dungeons. Like I was probably going to go do pod in Eastern after I found that bow, but I figured I might as well just go check what's on Desert Ledge really quick. Because there's only one item in Desert, so I had access to, so I didn't want to go in yet, I guess.
To be honest, that was actually like the main difference in both your routings, because Oro went actually straight to Eastern Pod after that bow instead of going to Desert, so that they were kind of like following your footsteps after that.
Yeah, the double fire source in Desert is always really punishing to whoever doesn't get there.
And it's hilarious.
It's pretty
there
good.
Was at least
I liked Vanilla Blue Cane too. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. But at least there were silvers and a sword in pod, but you ended up getting that tempered sword anyways, because it was like right next to the big key.
Yeah, that was very convenient. Yeah, I don't know. I always go right side if I find a key, and it really worked out this time.
Yeah, it looks like Aura did it as well. So did end up with a gold sword and is gonna start to climb now.
Yeah, Seed went pretty well. Pretty good time for a full inventory seed. I think. Yeah, I don't think I was missing literally anything at the end. Unless I'm misremembering picking up bombos.
You picked up bombos. I think it was in Gannis Tower, maybe. No, it was on Laser Bridge.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I was looking for sword or silvers.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. The seed itself went pretty well. I didn't play that well in a lot of areas. I don't think I could have shaved a couple minutes off of this time very easily. Like my route through Ice Palace was really bad. I messed up most of Ganon's Tower, and a lot of my boss fights were terrible, but still, I mean, I won, so I guess I didn't do that bad.
The definition of terrible is definitely up there for discussion.
Yeah, an 84-minute run. Yep, that's absolutely terrible. You need to just quit the game. Just uninstall.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has their own standards to play for, right? So, like, that's pretty much what you can do in a race, right? You play for your own outs and for your own, like, I don't know if restrictions is the right word, but, like, you all have your different, like, comfort zones.
Yeah. Yeah, this, I mean, it's not a bad time. I just didn't play up to my, I think, maximum strength, I guess, on a lot of the execution boss fights.
So
I think like
are you
Ganon and Lanmo 1 were the only ones that really went well.
are you saying that you could go even further beyond?
Yes. Nice reference.
Yeah.
So, have you guys scheduled the second game between I Like Big Boots and Swedish Rubbers?
Yes, that one is... I'll check really quick. I think it's on Thursday, which is tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow at 8:40 p.m. Eastern, Relkin is playing against Hobo Jim.
Nice, that's gonna be interesting to see. I don't know who this gay Relkin is, but I'm sure
Sounds like a noob.
He can try, I guess.
He formed the team, but he also knows that if he loses, he's off the team, so it's fine.
So
See, there you go.
So your Phosphate Ambrosia in general, have you played it a lot? It's like not that different from normal, but it's still different enough, I guess.
Yeah, I've played it a lot. Ambrosia's my favorite mode. I would honestly prefer it if boots were guaranteed, either like at Sank Chest or just early, rather than a hint for it. Because I think the vast majority of the execution-based skill in this game in general is based around movement, which you need the boots really to kind of get the full extent of that. But that aside, I also just like the guaranteed item on bosses portion. It makes dungeon diving way more tolerable.
Yeah.
It's less variance, I suppose.
I think that makes a lot of sense if the boots were to be required or like guaranteed. Because the whole game mode is like all about having rando being a little bit less rando, I guess, a little bit more consistent. And
Yeah.
if you had guaranteed boots, then you would never have to worry about back escape as well, which would be like just make escape that much more consistent as well as the entire overworld routing and stuff like that.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who don't agree with that, which is fine, but either way, like, optimal movement without boots is a lot of pumping, and doing that for 90 minutes straight is miserable, and it ruins your controllers and your hands. So that also sucks, but I don't know, some people enjoy that, I guess.
I guess getting a hint is maybe a good middle ground.
Yeah. some of the hints are pretty vague too. This one was awfully specific because it was a dungeon, but if you get like the light world, dark world hints or something like that, or even Boots in Ganon's tower, it's like, well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, Thieves' Town has to be one of the best dungeon hints to get, right? Because as soon as you have Hammer and Darkgold access, you can guarantee to get it as well.
Yep.
You see Oro is on the Gana fight here. With the Butter Sword is going to make the 101 phase a little bit less complicated than with the Tempered. We are on to phase 3 already. So what's your, do you have any like overall thoughts about maybe not necessarily the seed, but just like the league overall, or I guess pretty much anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, the league is really cool. I kind of hopped in it last minute last time because there's a cap on it, so when I actually joined the Discord, there were like 15 out of 16 teams already signed up. So it was a bit chaotic, but this time I joined a team like a month and a half in advance or something. And then they increased the cap to 64, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So it's good to have that big pool of people to play with and against. I really like Randomizer when it's multiple modes. Like it kind of tests your overall skill and I guess strategy if you're talking about who's playing against who. That's kind of one of the only downsides of most of the major tournaments. Is a lot of them are just a single mode, so they kind of get old after a while.
Yeah, and GG's to Oro finishing as well with a time of 1 hour 36 minutes and 39 seconds. We're gonna see if they want to join as well. But just to continue on that trail you're into, I guess having like a team system makes having multiple modes probably a bit more like fair / tolerable, because then you can have like specialists in your team that are good at different modes and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, that's really big for like cross keys and stuff, because a lot of people dabble a bit, I think, in cross keys, but the people who are good at cross keys, like that's it. There's so much else to cross keys than just playing the game well. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm not very good at it either, but to watch someone who is play it is kind of incredible.
It's definitely a beast of a mode to master, and we are joined by Oro. GG's.
Thank you. GG zer0rush.
Yeah, good games, man.
So what's your thoughts about the seed? Probably not super happy about Pod, I would imagine.
Yeah, after Pod only turned up with a sword and silvers, kind of felt like that wasn't a great play. It made sense at the time since I didn't have a lot of stuff, but it felt like since we got the boat early, something was going to be there, especially because I could route in all of Eastern, all of Pod, and then turn in the green pendant while checking Saha's closet. And when that turned up empty, and then I found that the mitts I just left in Skull Woods, because I don't like going to Skull Woods without the fire rod and ambrosia. So I felt like possibly zer0rush could have gotten that really early and been way ahead.
I did not, but I did have to full clear it because Skull Woods sucks.
Okay, so you had the same way around Skull Woods that I did.
Yeah, basically. I grabbed the free chest and then went to the back and then had to go all the way to the front again. It was bad.
Yeah, you both ended up skipping Skull Woods for some time, which makes sense without the fire rod. The big difference maker was probably when you both got the bow, and Oro, you went to Eastern plus Pod, and zer0rush went over to Desert and got the fire sources and ended up never going to Pod at all.
Yeah, and I was like kind of split between those two, but I was like, it's a whole bunch of checks over there, plus the green pendant, and because it's like the bow's going to lead to something, or the book's going to lead to something, and turned out I chose the wrong item.
Yeah, I was pretty much about to take the same route, and then was like, oh, I'll check ledge, I guess, since it's a flute away, and then it was the lamp, and I was like, all right, well, I can complete the dungeon, so I might as well do it.
Yeah,
Yay,
both
it's the
fire
fire
sources, both fire sources being in desert felt kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after I found the mitts and had made that pod full clear for basically nothing, I was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna have, I know zer0rush is much better than me. I'm gonna have to make some sort of galaxy brain play to catch up. So that's why I went into Mire without the cane.
I will say though, the dark rooms in pod that you did were quite impressive, especially the turtle one went really fast with having no fire source at all.
Yeah, I got kind of lost in the maze though, the dark maze.
I mean, I think that happens to everyone at some point. It's just easy, especially if you like take a hit or something like that, to get disoriented in there. But yeah, so unfortunately no win for Swedish rubbers in this matchup, but you guys still have one more shot against I like Big Boots later this week. Tomorrow, I think we said it was.
That's tomorrow, half an hour later start time than this race was. I think it's 8:40.
Well, it almost ended up being that start time today after all.
Freaking love your guys' team names.
Yeah, I had a lot of Swedish randomizer people coming up to me being like, why is their name that? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm not on the team. But I think you guys explained it. It's like a Swedish manufacturer of game controller parts or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's definitely not the mind in the gutter thing. No.
No, we just like having good controller parts that are from Sweden.
Right?
Yeah, none of these names are suggestive whatsoever. But yeah, if you guys are interested in more rando, I do believe we have 2 more races coming up tonight. One at 10:40, which should be in 30 minutes if my time zone is correct. It's not daylight saving time here. Yes, I get confused, but I think it's 30 minutes from now on SpeedGaming 2, and then another one 30 minutes after that, starting on the main SpeedGaming channel. And I think there is a couple of ones actually ongoing as well. Potentially, they might have finished by now, but definitely follow the channels if you want to see more randomizers, because we're going to have randomizers every day for pretty much on at least 6 more weeks, and then we have playoffs as well. But thanks again for our tracker, by the way, Tabbycat54. Thanks for Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna to jumping in here doing comms with me on a very short notice. And GG's to both our runners. If you haven't followed them, make sure to do it, because they're pretty awesome at this game. But unless you guys want to have some final finishing thoughts, I'll let Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna finish this one off.
Yeah, no, thanks for commentating and tracking and restreaming. Have a good night, everyone.
And apparently the best way to become a good rando runner is to get those Swedish rubbers. So, good night, everybody.